Today is a day that you get the deepest dive that you ever gotten for Crimson Desert. I am looking to go down the rabbit hole or go down the abyss as you're watching in the background, jump in and save the day. I feel like this game has some really good surprises for us. And I don't think a lot of people know what the mechanics are offering when it comes to story, gameplay, and so on. And we're diving in. So I don't want you to rush through this. I am going to probably put some timestamps, but I really think you need to note this and then take this for a deep dive. Put it on your big screen, relax, and enjoy the journey. I'm going deep down the rabbit hole. Another thing to note is I already have smaller, quicker, jam-packed sections where I break down the game in detail for things like story, my hands-on with the combat against some of the bosses, and then a whole lot more as I've been covering the game. But this is a combination of all of those things, but we're going to do something special today, which I cannot wait. There's plenty of things to discuss. I'm not going to hold you too long. We're going to keep on going forward with this deep dive breakdown. First things first, yes, Crimson Desert is right around the corner. It's releasing, and me sharing this information is really just my excitement and my joy for what they are offering. And hopefully you can join me on the release and we can continue just enjoying it as gamers. March 19th. Hopefully by then I'll already have my review out and more just discussing things within the game from that point on forward. All right, here we go. This is not sponsored. This is my love and passion, just so you be clear, okay? And there's a lot to note. In the background, you're watching footage of a dragon fight, which I have already a big breakdown for. Watch my hands-on impressions on the channel. I'm sorry about what's going to happen next. I'm going to skip ahead and not watch this. We want to watch some official footage and break that down. So again, if you want the dragon fight completely, it's on the channel. Here we go. All right, so first things first, I want to kind of discuss the importance of the experience and what we're doing right now. We're going to be going through some of the official footage, things that you might have missed along the way, because it is important. We're going to talk about the world. You're watching it in the background. I'm slowing the footage down a little so you can understand you're capable seeing the details and learning the game a little more. All right. The place that we're at is the one and the only Pywel. That's what I'm calling it. And this is a vast place with plenty of places to discover some really cool areas. Okay, you got the vast wilderness, the high mountain ranges, and then the dense forests, plus of course the bustling cities, which have a lot of things going on. I'm gonna be interested in going there. And then of course the ruins, the ancient ruins for that matter. And then there's the abyss, which we're not going to talk about directly too much right now, but this is an open area and you can do anything and everything you want. Check this guy out right here. He's climbing a tree. Okay, keep that in mind. You can be Batman if you want in this game. You heard it here first, folks. But I wanted to kind of just get into the conversation of all the very cool things in this game and discuss every part that they're showcasing. See, there's 20 plus soldiers that you'll be battling in that area right there. You have the deserty area, which is Crimson Desert, and then all the different things. But I want to kind of get into our main character, the one and the only Mr. Kliff. This is going to be our main protagonist. It's going to be dealing with all of this abyss that you're wondering, what is this mysterious dark energy? You know, is this Star Wars? No, it's not. I'm sorry to break the news to you guys, but there are some magical people like this lady here, and there are some really high-tech advanced technology and magic elements to the game. It's a fantasy game, and that's what makes it cool. These high areas above the map, they're pretty much a way for you to go above and beyond what you see in the game. So I love that. I cannot wait. So here goes. Kliff, one and the only. This is our main character. He's the main purpose that we're basically playing, and he's dealing with the abyss and having to struggle through that. And he is a warrior from the Greymanes, and of course she's sworn to protect the innocent, so he's not going to allow any bad thing. That's very cool. But the truth is, they got attacked. Things didn't go well, and this is all destroyed their peace, caused them to have to break apart. Got a big war with the Black Bears, who are the antagonists. They're the invaders. They're the ones you're going to see in a second here that are battling against Kliff and his Greymane crew. You want to get familiar with Greymane because that's going to be the faction you're building. That's going to be your movement. And the Black Bears are the main protagonists within the situation of your personal journey and losing your people and losing, you know, your village. The attack was hard and heavy and it destroyed everything. And so that's where it all begins. And that's where you start as a character to have to restore and reunite the Greymanes and then take back your land. So that is going to be interesting. And again, a simple premise that I think we've seen plenty times before. I'm not looking for a revolutionary story on that front, but it is something that they're basically bringing forward to us as we go forward. And then reuniting with your people is kind of one of the coolest things that we've seen, where, you know, you start to probably learn backstories of who you are and how people see you, how you were one of the best soldiers, probably, hopefully. And if not, that's cool too. You were underdog and now you're back to save the day. So it'll be interesting how it all plays out, but it is something special. And I want to kind of get into this, the biggest part, the most interesting part of another side of the story is the Abyss. Okay? To me, the Abyss is probably the most intriguing part of the story for this game, because if not, it'll just be a typical story, right? He lost all his village, he's trying to reclaim it. But instead, you see this. These characters come in with the Abyss, these enemies, and they're very, you know, mysterious, you know, haunting, kind of in and out, and very, very cool abilities, actually, like these villains. And so they're the biggest threat, and they're fixated on the Abyss, and they want power. It's greed that usually kills us all, right? So the dark portals and things like that are what they're using. The magical energy that's leaking into the world, like this guy right here, he uses that power to absorb it and basically just destroy this person here. It's an example of the Abyss. It's an example of what to worry about. The mechanics is these things are falling from the sky. You have to find them, restore balance to the world. It's pretty much what it is. In that journey, you end up in different areas, not only regions, but in the Abyss areas, having to fight these bosses, having to deal with the consequences of all the drama that has come before. And so for me, this is super interesting, and it's an intriguing part of the story that's going to push it along for you and your Greymane. And remember, you're building a big faction, which we'll get into a little later. You have to organize and coordinate with your team and kind of work together to stop these forces, because it's not going to be a one-man job. There's plenty to do. So I love it. If you watch slowly, some of these enemies are pretty cool when it comes to visuals and cinematics of what is going on. And, you know, we're not going to get too deep into the story on this part, but it is an example of journey that you'll be on, where there's a story to tell and there's things going on that's very cool. And Kliff is supposed to be the leader of that, but the truth is there's two other main characters who you can also play that are going to help you along the way and keep you going forward. You got Damian, and then you have Uma. Those are the names I'm calling them. That's the names I saw pop out on the screen. And basically, one of them, the male, is heavy weapons and brute. The female has guns and magic. You're going to see their action and their gameplay, but they're a part of your crew and you get to use them to do a bunch of side missions and different things. And then it also explains that Kliff will be the only one in the cutscenes and dialogue, but you can play as the other characters as well. So how fast can you switch to them and how useful will they be? To me, I like their fighting styles. I mean, she looks very agile. She got some slick movement. She got the gunplay. These are things that are pretty awesome if you ask me. She has mobility. This guy right here is shooting giant missiles and then spinning his axe all over the place. These are things that I think could be fun and interesting to spice it up. They also have their own skill trees, which I thought was interesting for them to add in the game. So it is possible and it is cool in my opinion. So I like that a lot. And then now I want to kind of get into something important here about the map and the different regions. There are 5 regions, as I talked about earlier. Very unique places. Each location is going to be different, whether it's the high mountains, as I said earlier, the forests, and so many cool places like the bustling cities, the ancient ruins. And then the main area that I know for a fact is the toughest, because that's what the PR manager talked about, is the Crimson Desert. There's a reason the game is called Crimson Desert, I believe, since this is going to be the hardest area, the highest level area. This is where we're going to find the best gear, best items, hardest bosses. Pretty much everything is going to get focused on in this part. And what's cool is these factions are not your friends, right? You're going to have to deal with trying to get quests and do the big quests and the little quests to build relationships. And some of these factions are going to want to fight with you. Other ones, we're going to ask for your help and help you build these things. And as you go forward, you know, a big part of that is liberating these regions. If a faction holds it that's not friendly, it's going to be your job to liberate that, and then you'll be able to clear it out as best as possible. Once you do, you liberate it, and then now the regular citizens will return, the shops will open up, the region becomes safe, gain access to merchants, resources, and things like that that you can use for your base, which I think is a cool mechanic and very helpful. And I want to kind of go over that a little deeper. As you see, you're pushing this wagon. That's a probably easy, relaxing mission. There might be scenarios where people come out to fight and you're going to have to protect that wagon, right? Like simple things of that nature might seem very basic, but they might add a little extra elements to keep it spicy. And of course, you know, there's the RPG element of just being the hero. And what I've noticed from all of this specifically is this is a standard thing. We've seen a lot of games do it where you're liberating bases, enemy bases, and then, you know, the civilization takes over. Now, the best part about it is that you do get rewards for this. This isn't just some cheap, oh, just do it and you're done. There's going to be the merchants, the resources, things like that. And then building bonds with those factions, you actually can recruit the players to be a part of your base. And we'll talk about that a little later, but that's a big factor in the scenario. So for me personally, having to do this feels like so far it's going to be worth it. Now I want a chest in that thing. Give me some good reward inside the main base, right? Like at the king's or whatever, the leader's quarters, there's a giant chest with the best gear in the game. You know, those are kind of the reasons why I love invading these bases and having this in these type of open world games. So personally, I love it. It's a good way to practice new builds, new skills, practice your combos, get good at fighting bosses in the area. And so, you know, while it's not like, oh, do I really need to do that? Probably not for the whole game. I don't know how that works. And that's a different conversation that I'm not going to go too deep into, but oh, is this going to be the main way to play the game. Like I won't be able to progress the story if I don't do every single location. I don't think they're going to force you to do every location. I think there'll be a story that you can follow if that's what you feel like. And then there'll be all of this extra stuff, which will give you buffs and abilities and resources and better gear, all that stuff that could be helpful. So that's what I think is going to happen. I think they understand gamers are not going to want to just be forced to clear 100 hours of gameplay, clearing bases every day. That's just my thing. But yeah, it looks fun. It looks cool. And right here, this is another thing. It looks like you got a reward. So, hey man, I'll take the sword if that's what you're going to give me. The spear. Get it for helping you guys? Thanks. Appreciate it. I'll do it again. So those are the kind of things. And as you can see, civilization is back. And I'm sure once you open these up, you'll get more quests from them. Hey man, can you go get my dogs? Like, sure, I'm a dog person. I love it. Let's do it. All right, so now we're gonna get into traversal. As you can see in the background, this tree, literally a walking tree, some type of thing. And what I like about this traversal, as you can see, I climbed the tree, first of all, pushed off of it, and then I boosted myself up, and then I glide over. Right? And on top of that, there's hidden areas, hidden treasure. I'm gonna be able to find anywhere and everywhere that's gonna lead me to different places and give me good things in the game. All right, so traversal is very important. The secrets are very important. The exploration is, the more you explore, the more you get rewarded, right? Discovery is king, as they say. And there's hidden locations. And I want you to note this one right here, which is the bookshelf. As you can see, he's really slick right there. Pretty Batman-ish, old school style. And so this is a simple one. I would assume there's way more things like that in the game for you to do and for you to figure out, I would say, to explore and to find as you play. Okay, you have that freedom. And again, most people who love open worlds like me will end up being happy about that. But what I'm really happy about is this next segment here. If you pay close attention, he's able to boost himself up, not once, not twice, 3 times, and then glide in the air and then use this grapple. This is very critical, guys. All of those combinations alone are going to allow you to get almost anywhere in the game. You guys are able to climb cliffs, mountains, right? Just like literally climb the mountain. I think that's fun, interesting to allow you to have access to these places. And you can see you're very high up. So I can cross the half of the map just by climbing up a mountain. And then on top of that, the outrageousness of having a mech and just shooting down everybody in this scenario, shooting missiles and things like that. Then of course the dragon, very flyable. They said this is an end game item. I don't believe we're gonna get it early, so no big deal. That's fine. It's still pretty damn cool if you ask me. These are the kind of things that they're doing. That's pretty outrageous. And then you have the ancient mystery here where you have these flying creatures attacking you and a bunch of mechs to fight as well, which is very interesting. All of this stuff is at your fingertips and you're gonna have to battle it out, figure it out. And the biggest thing to figure out is the puzzles, right? So these ancient mechanics and runes will have tons of puzzles and tons of traversal type of things for you to do in order to unlock a lot of key things that are going to help you along the way with your progression. Progression is very critical in the game, and these puzzles can be helpful for you. Now, not everything's going to be story based. Some of this, probably most of it, it's just like, oh, just, you know, if you find it, you find it, and you want to open it up and go to the underground cave and unlock something, fight a boss and get something cool, go for it. If not, you can just progress through the game and figure it out. But for me, the artifacts and the fast travel was the most dynamic part here, where, for example, you're figuring out this puzzle, you're doing all this stuff in these abyss areas and the regular world, and then the abyss mechanic is going to unlock a lot for you, right? Since this is another dimension and it's in power-ups, once you get these artifacts, you're capable of unlocking an upgrade or a skill, right? Like being able to develop the ability to use your grapple and then bring over the abyss and put it on here, as you can see, as an example. That's why there's no XP. It's like you're gonna find it and you're gonna enjoy as you go. So just look for all the artifacts in the world. I promise it's going to be critical. And another factor about talking about artifacts and things like that that are going to be super cool, the no XP system, this is where it's at. Your power comes from those items. So I love it. And then there's this fast travel mechanic here where discovering the traces of Abyss unlocks fast travel points. Here goes one right here. You put that in here, and then guess what? Now I got a fast travel point that I can come to anytime I want. Sure, I got my dragon. Sure, I can glide. Sure, I can ride my mounts, you know, and whatever else is in the game. There might be more, guys, I would assume. But instead, I just want to fast travel. And I'm one of those guys, I love exploring, but there comes a point where I'm about 100 hours in. Maybe I want to fast travel to the next point. I'm good. I've seen enough for the moment. And so that's where I'm at with it when it comes to this part of the game. I love it. And then, of course, the Abyss, the dimensions, you're trying to rebalance and bring balance to the world. And so how this all works, we don't know officially. The Abyss is a mysterious thing, but there is a lot to learn about it and to discover. And this is the part of the story, as I was mentioning, you're going to be exploring these Abyss areas, these ancient ruins. You're going to go to the realm, the Abyss realm, for different reasons as well. And then along the way, you're getting rewarded, getting a new weapon, you're getting new gear, new skills, you know, all that good stuff. And that combinates not only for your gameplay, but deeper story, because they can unveil why is this happening and what does it mean, all of that good stuff. So for me, this is one of the biggest W parts of the game that personally drives me forward to want to explore, find new things, just enjoy myself as we go. I get on a video game to relax, and sometimes when I'm playing big open worlds, explore, not always looking for the combat. It's offering that. So pretty cool. All right, now we're gonna get into the knowledge system. This is the crazy part, right? So knowledge is king, right? There's a knowledge system. This mechanic is top tier. You're basically uncovering information as you go. You can observe, aka watch system, and if you watch it, you'll learn that skill and you can do it. So fishing, for example, in the background, if you're watching, you're gonna be capable of doing that. Talking to NPCs, you know, watching objectives, interacting with objectives, all that plays a role, and that will basically unlock new quests. It'll help you with clues, it'll help you learn new skills, all of it. One big party, let's just say, for you to figure out and learn as you go forward. Your play the game, your time and your space and your energy. So those type of things to me are a big factor in the game-changing element overall that I can't wait and hope that they do well, because it's important, right? And deep down the rabbit hole we go to talk about combat. And here, first thing I want to mention is, man, I'm conflicted because I have other gameplay that I want to show, but I feel like this one has so many good details. It's going to help you guys kind of understand the philosophy of the combat, because they did do a good presentation here and it's super cool. Okay, so the philosophy is you're going to create what your fighting style is. You can be a wrestler and just body slam people the whole game, right? You can be a magic caster and throw all of that in there. You can be a ninja and just do drop kicks and spin kicks and sweeps all the time. There's a variety in this game, and the truth is combining them is going to be the best part of it all. You got the shields, of course, swords, spears, great swords, axes, ranged weapons, typical things that you guys see in the background. You know, it encourages you to switch and to change up how you play. You can do hand-to-hand combat, as you guys can see, where you're grappling, slamming people, you know, suplexing them, my favorite wrestling elements as well. There's great stuff like ranged weapons with one of our side characters who has a handgun. It also has the rifle and various weapons like that. You know, this is a vast open world in that regard, and it's not holding back on what you could or couldn't do. And that's what I love. I think it's fun to be able to chain different things together depending on how you want to play. And then of course the element damage, fire, ice, lightning, you know, you're going to burn or stun an enemy, maybe freeze them. All those things are a big part of it. And you can switch and change it on the fly. And to me, that's where the dynamic element of this game is special. You got a lot of mobility and a lot of free flowing play style. So I'm going to have a lot of movement tech in my play style. I'm going to slide, dodge, and do counters mostly. And of course, this sumo wrestler bungee splash, as they call it, is something I'll end up doing. You know, but maybe you're different. Maybe you prefer a more tactical way of being defensive, right? Blocking with your shield and playing that way is absolutely no wrong way. And if that's what you feel like doing, countering and attacking, that's fine. I think it's fun to be able to have that variety. And yeah, the zero to hero concept for the progression is yours. You know, you're not going to have anything when you start off. You're going to lose everything from the black bears who destroyed your village and took everything from you. And it's up to you to start learning and growing, and that's the journey. It's your path. Go from a survivor to the triumphant king of the Greyman, possibly, right? Like, I don't know the storyline there, but I would think after losing it all, you can gain it back. And so those are the kind of things I love. And then when we talk about progression, I had to kind of really, and I probably would have to do another video, which I haven't talked about this fully in the detail that I want to, but I will right now. Some of the progression, you know, there's no leveling, right? So we're not here to just like, let me grind XP to get my character up. Like your leveling is finding items, unlocking items. And yes, there's the Abyss where you get artifacts and you use those artifacts. You know, you get them from quests and from exploring and combat and all that good stuff. But that increases your core, like your health and your stamina, sure, but it unlocks abilities as well. And you can find these in chests, strong arms, fighting bosses, all of that stuff. It's going to be a part of how you unlock those things. And sure, they're going to make you stronger, but they're not the only factor, and they're not the key to your playstyle. Because you got your armor, you got your weapon. So for example, another big factor is the watch system that we talked about earlier. You're going to learn the moves on the fly. They're showcasing it on here that you'll be able to pick up different abilities from people. You learn that as you go. So you're going to customize your playstyle, whichever character you choose, right? These three characters, and you can fit to your liking. As you're seeing here, they're all playing very different. They all have their own dynamic experience, and it's up to you to make it work. And that's where the equipment, the crafting, and the upgrading system is a big deal. And, you know, like, I personally have absolutely been enjoying this part of the game, and I'm curious how it's going to play out. You know, a lot of people will tell you they know what it's really going to feel like, but you don't know what the game is like. Regardless of what they tell us, there's way more to the picture. So I kind of want to go through that just a little bit and share some thoughts about it as we go. But yeah, you're looking at the crafting and what you can upgrade and buy or find, and you're going to be able to do that. But you could also mine, hunt, and do these quests to get these things as well. And so how does that work when you're hunting? How does it work? These are just things that are part of the game that are essential. But my question in the conversation for you guys is this the big loop in the game? Like, oh, I gotta go hunt or I gotta go craft. For me, I prefer to beat bosses for gear. I don't know. I'm just a combat focused guy, so give me. But the fact that they have it in the game and they're allowing people, very cool. Then they have these sockets here. As you can see, you can put extra upgrades and buffs to your character that you're going to end up finding throughout the game. And those are extra special effects and special abilities and things of that nature that take you to the next level. And so I love that. Now, the biggest thing, as I said earlier, fighting bosses for unique loot is what they confirmed. And to me, that matters most. And maybe you're like me and you want to battle as many bosses and beast and mechanical sorcery, all the stuff you're seeing in the background. Great, let's do it. Let's get it. All right, that's what I want. That's what I want. That's the most thing that I want out of these type of games where it's a big open world and a lot going on. So what is the special rewards? We're gonna have to wait and see, but you can get signature moves, you know, and things like that, abilities that are really powerful, like the ones you're seeing in the background. You'll unlock all of that part of the game, you know. So that's very, very awesome. And I want to kind of pause before we continue, because we are going to keep going down this rabbit hole discussing combat for 1 second. I made that one very quick for a reason. I wanted to go into the gameplay that I have. So main thing with this combat is some of the progression is a part of that. So as we were saying, it's more of an action game, not an RPG where you're just getting XP as you go. You're going to find the items, level up, right? So you can start the game and go to the hardest area, try to beat the things, because there's no difficulty. The difficulty goes through the regions. So one region will be a little easier, and the harder region will be tough. And it's up to you to level up as much as you want during that time to fight the enemies. So that freedom is pretty cool, but there's 5 regions. The question will be, is it too easy to in the starting area, especially if you beat the very difficult area first? I'm sure somebody will speed run it, get the game done in 10 minutes, but where's the fun in that? I think until I beat the whole game and enjoy it, I personally won't bother trying that. But I might go pop a visit or two to the tough areas, maybe find some secret items for you guys and let you guys know on the channel. So the upgrade loot, you know, the best thing to do is fight these bosses. So imagine after I fight this dragon, what type of item am I getting? And is it worth it? So those are the questions. Now, maybe I come to the hardest boss in the game at the start, and I'm skilled enough to beat him, and then I get the best weapon. And then now I play the rest of the game with that, or maybe a good ability. And so those are the kind of conversations that I'm thinking about, and I'm curious about on how they're working that as they go forward. But for me, it is going to be fun. It's going to be interesting how they maneuver in that space for the game. I'm super excited. So yeah, so those are some of the key things to kind of think about when it comes to combat. And I don't want to go too deep into what I already said before about combat, which is my personal hands-on. I felt all the bosses were different. Played 5 of them, 5 different bosses. Each of them had like a variety. I did not fight this dragon, by the way, but in this fight, you could see, you know, he has a certain play style. There's certain things you want to do, certain elements that really put damage on him, and then you're capable of getting extra damage in when you knock him down. He's gonna get back up, and you have to fight, right? And you can use the environment to your advantage, but so is he. And so these are the kind of things that I've seen. Variety. I fought a giant turtle, which had weak points on his shell, so I had to jump on his back and try to destroy it. And then I also fought a lot of other different bosses. One of them was just had a giant shield, and another one was like creating clones of himself in a scarecrow style where he was in a, you know, crops, and it was kind of interesting. So all those things, and if you want that deep dive, it's on the channel. But one is, those are the kind of things that made me really interested. Like, wow, they're not just putting a giant boss in the map and just letting you swing at it for a long time. No offense. I feel like games that do that at this point now, it's like, come on, man, you got to get creative. I already seen this boss throw 3 combos, and give me some variety. Make it interesting. Make me have to work, then create a puzzle solving type of thing. And I think that's why it's cool that there is no difficulty, because it's like, let me solve this riddle here. If I hit him with electricity on his wing, it's going to shock him and put him down, and then I can fight him. Something like that, right? So those are the things to me personally that I thought were spectacular, and I'm so excited to kind of dive deep into. And now we're gonna get into one of the other parts, which is the life. Here we go. So now you're wondering, what is the life? Well, today you find out. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to base building, the activities, and different things that you're going to be capable of do. There is a day-to-day life that you're a part of, that you can contribute on and enjoy, that is a part of the story. But how does that play out, and how does that affect the combat is the conversation that I'm more interested in. We're going to get into all of it and just vibe out, right? You're going to sit there, go through the market, pet your dog, interact with the locals, right? And you got to get into the combat. You're going to have to deal with real life, man. There's no joke out here. It's going to get intense, and it's going to get interesting. So your HUD is the main point, but you're rebuilding it. Remember, the Black Bears destroyed it all. Well, it's up to you to actually rebuild it, right? This is your main storyline, let's just say, in there. And there's plenty to do, like upgrading the camps as you go along. Fund it, have some resources for it, expand it, upgrade it. I did not really think this was a part of the game. I was more into the combat. And then I've seen all this and said, wow, they're actually like really putting a lot into this game and caring a lot about it in many ways. So that is pretty damn cool, in my opinion. I think it'll be interesting. These camps has facilities for cooking. You're able to get camp vendors, farming and ranches. This stuff is deep. It's not something that you're just gonna pass over, guys. Like, so you got to look at it and think about it in that way, where it's like, wow, like, well, I have all this at my fingertips to kind of engage with. So I like that. Then there's the recruitment, right? Picking up people, something I was mentioning earlier about that, but I want to kind of go deeper into it, right? So since you're rebuilding, you're reclaiming your land, you need people on your team, these comrades to unite with and to gather with, and they have to be yours. The more you grow and your story grows and you become famous in the world, the better people you'll recruit, I believe. And of course, I haven't played the story, so I can't give you guys all the details on that, but pretty cool. And there's even a mission table. This is kind of wild, right? You can dispatch the Greymane, right? And you can send them out to missions for currency, for resources, for cooking and other materials, right? So like finding the best soldiers will make your life easier. It's like, oh, I don't like to farm. Sure, then don't worry about farming. How about recruiting all the best players? Because that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm going to recruit all the best players, and then we're good. And then another factor is actually, you can actually call in for support. So they can actually go over to these bases and basically crush some of the defenses of the camps that you're going to. So instead of it being, very difficult, it's like, oh, they destroyed that other camp. Now you're capable of going in and taking over. So that's pretty amazing. And then I want to talk about the city, the life, crime, and things of that nature. You know, town HUDs, there's a bunch of them as you walk through populated cities. NPCs, they have daily routines, and you can be a part of it if they send you on a quest or anything, but it is a critical part. And of course, these vendors, the blacksmith that are going to help you forge your weapons, that is very substantial. Of course, it's going to be the necessary tools for you. Remember, your character doesn't level up, it's going to be your gear that does. So this stuff is probably going to be the most critical part of the game, in my opinion. And then, of course, for the people who want to show off and put on a really cool outfit for their story, go ahead. Personally, I'm going to wear the brightest outfit that you could find in the game. I just like the fact that they're going to let you put on some outfits and you can change the color and do all that stuff. So, you know, what are you doing? What are you wearing? Why you got that bright, you know, red or whatever blue color that you wearing? Then, of course, the side missions, we're going to get into that very briefly here. Where it's like, hey, protect me from these bandits, deliver these goods, track down a missing person. These are things that people are going to send you. And then you're going to be able to, of course, do the main story alongside all that. But you're able to get these day-to-day contracts and key information that might help you lead you to another faction or to recruit somebody that's going to be great for your actual regime, you know. And I'm just interested how that would play out, because it is a social role-playing aspect, and you know, it'll be interesting for those who are willing and interested to get involved in that way. There's going to be a lot of very cool discoveries from you guys. I mean, I personally encourage people to just have fun, take their time with games. So this is a W in my book. Just in my book. So now you got social interactions. This is an interesting part that I saw. I was like, wait a minute. You're hearing rumors, you know, you're doing mini games. Remember, there's a bunch of mini games. You could play gambling, you can arm wrestle, you can do all types of daily activities that are out there for you to kind of engage with and be a part of as you go. So that is interesting. And then, of course, listening to people's gossip might get you a quest or something special that you might be able to find as you go. And so those are the kind of things that are interesting. And then, yes, as you can see right here, you're wanted. You got a bounty over your head. And this is important because this is the law system. You're basically not supposed to go around destroying people or things and being a menace. Be respectful, or the guards are going to come after you. And they have that bounty system where you're going to pay the fine or you're going to go to jail. There's ways for this to be, you know, a lot more serious. And, you know, be smart and stay away from the guards. If you're going to commit a crime, get away from all of it and then go from there. You know? But I want to talk about the town and some hidden locations and things like that that you might see, that you might need to do, and type of things that you'll find. So for example, all of this right here, which you just saw, you're repairing the world. There's puzzles, there's mechanical and mystical elements that play a big role in your life as you go forward. That's interesting. And then on top of that, they have the survival elements, which cooking, gathering, all of this stuff can help with your health, your stamina, your spirit. You're going to be able to eat and have those things buffed up, whether it's temporarily buffed or some of the permanent stuff, like just getting your health up to the max, things like that. And then, of course, alchemy stuff, which is just kind of like poisons and or just, you know, abilities that you can use for combat will be there as well. And that is a big factor because you're going to need it. And the tools for gathering is the key thing, right? You'll mine, you'll gather. Remember, you can use your crew to do all that stuff. But at the beginning, you'll learn how to do this, like fishing or hunting. And then I would assume, for me personally, I'm just going to build a big crew, have them do all the hunting for me. So you know what I mean? You scale your business by upgrading, you know, paying your employees. That's where it's at for me personally. That's how I'm gonna go about it. I'm super excited to kind of see how it goes. And everybody has their own journey in the storyline of how they're gonna use these upgrades and special advanced tools and things that you'll find along your journey. You know, again, if you're somebody that just want to rush through the story, go for it, man. I would love to see somebody speed run the game. I'm not going to try that my first time. Maybe second or third time, or New Game Plus, I'll probably do something crazy. But I'm just going to have fun. Slow it down. And now I want to kind of talk about customization. This is one of the coolest things for me. I told you guys I'm going to wear some bright color that doesn't stand out. It stands out. Now, a lot of you will get mad and be like, you're supposed to look like the main character. If I got the female, she's going to have bright red hair. That guy right there is going to have like a green hair or something. I'm going to turn him into the Hulk. And my main character, I'm going to switch them all up too, you know, just to have some fun. I've got to a point in gaming where it's like, I've always done typical characters and they might have been bland. Now I'm at a point now I want to be extravagant, man. I want to be, you know, stand out. And so the fact that they're giving us these dye customizations for the characters, the hairs, tattoos, outfits, all of it is key. And you can mix and blend however you feel. And that is the beauty of it all, in my opinion. It's the best part of it all. And so, yeah, I mean, they did a good job with that. And now I want to kind of get into the grand finale of some of my conversations in this, and I want to kind of sweep everything together for you guys as we go forward. This is a big deep dive, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying me kind of going down this rabbit hole. All right, so we're gonna watch some footage of different fights and things that you probably haven't seen, or maybe you saw one of my previous videos. I showcased some of it. And we're going to go a little deeper into some philosophy of what I've seen and what I've known and what I think you guys should think about. Like I was saying to you guys, they're not doing nothing revolutionary. You're not going to sit here and say they created a brand new thing as far as like, oh, there's no XP or there's no this or that. And they're doing it different. It's like, yeah, a lot of games have these features. They just put them in one experience. So it is a new thing. You know, it is unique in some ways, and that's why I'm excited for it, because it does a lot of what I love, you know. As I was saying, this boss fight, you're really closed in, you're in a tight quarters, you're dealing with this giant monkey, and these are the kind of things that will happen in the game where it's like, okay, this isn't just like one boss fight and it's the same for all of them. Bosses feel very different, and that's special to me. And then of course, if I don't want to get too wild, I'm going to explore, get on a nice little boat and go to an island somewhere. I don't know, you know, get some sun maybe. No, read a book, touch some grass, you know, just hang out and enjoy. And so for me, that kind of behavior, that kind of thing is very cool. This is a single player game, not an MMO, not a Souls-like, you know, it's not Black Desert 2. Just, it is what it is. It is a big map, but I'm not worried about like, is it too big? You know what? I'm all good with that. Like, I'm good when they have great big games. They do a lot. It's fun. It's interesting, and it's a good feel, you know? So for me, that's fine, and that's perfect. And it feels like the devs just really had a vision of the kind of experience they wanted. And they wanted to put you in this world where there is magic and technology, and there's a traditional fantasy world as well. And I'm cool with all sides of that, you know? So it's fun. And I'm going to spend my time, as I told you guys, just kind of seeing what I'm feeling like. Let's go find some more bosses, and maybe I'll take on that challenge. And maybe I'll be the first thing I'll do when I get a chance is unlock special item and say, oh wow, I might want to start doing this more. And I'll travel all the way. This is a little spoiler of what I was planning. Go all the way to Crimson Desert in the first couple hours of the game and go there and try to find a boss to fight. Try to see what I unlock compared to the standard first region. And they said you can do that. You gotta be skilled to beat that boss, but you can do it. So of course I'll be streaming that as we go, but those are the type of things that are interesting, you know. But there's a lot of stuff with the game that is special. We'll find out together. There's no microtransactions outside of like buying the deluxe edition for extra $10 to get some random outfit or something. There's no nonsense in it. Just a good game. So feel free to let me know what your thoughts are. Hopefully this deeper dive into a lot of the stuff that we know, it's helpful, and it gives you guys like the encouragement to want to enjoy and have fun. Check it out for yourself and see what you're feeling. All right. Want more? It's on the channel and they should be popping up on screen. Y'all have a good one. Peace.